It's 19 hours GMT. Good evening and welcome to News 360. We are live from the News Hub here in Accra. I am Isa Morning.
And I'm Natalie Fort. A look at the top stories this evening.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by Deluxe Paint, Heaven Black Mosquito Coil and Spray,
Calipo, and Nido Fortigro. Your love, their future.
And a look at the top stories this evening. Relatives of 7 persons killed by police in Manso in Kwanta want government to implement recommendations in the report.
Also coming up, over 1,900 lives lost through road crashes from January to October 30 this year.
And also ahead in the bulletin this evening, ahead in business, President of the Bankers Association disappointed in government's decision to settle customers of defunct DKM with taxpayers' money.
Still in the news tonight, in international news, Atiku Abubakar, the main challenger to Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari, in February's poll, launches his manifesto.
Stay with us here on News 360 for the details of these stories and much more news. As always, the bulletin streams live all across the world on our website, 3news.com. You could also watch us on DSTV channel, it's 279.
And beginning the news tonight, the committee set up to investigate the death of the 7 persons involved in the Manso Kwanta shooting incident says there were no facts to establish that the deceased persons were armed robbers who engaged in exchange of fire with the police. A statement issued by the Information Ministry also said there were no facts presented to the committee that indicated they had exchanged fire with the police.
Upon intelligence, a search was intensified in the forest at Manso Dome Biposo, about 3 kilometers away from the crime scene. Upon our search, we retrieved 4 AK-47 assault rifles, 1 SMG number 1974611, and also retrieved 1 G3 number not yet known. We also retrieved 1 pump action gun. We also retrieved 5 boxes of live AK-47 ammunition. Toyota Corolla car with registration number BA295/15 and unregistered motorbike with a rider and pillion appeared driving towards the Manso Kwanta direction. The police signaled them to stop, but they ignored the signal and started firing at the police.
That was Ashanti Regional Police Commander DCOP Kwesi Mensah Duku. After the shooting, when he addressed the media at the regional police headquarters in Kumasi on the shooting of the 7 suspects. But 4 months on, a 7-member government committee that investigated the incident has concluded otherwise. The killings on July 17, 2018 triggered outrage and anger in Zongo communities in Kumasi. Residents and relatives insisted on the innocence of the 7. A 7-member committee was subsequently set up after days of protests over the killings. The committee completed its work and submitted its report to Vice President Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia in September 2018. A statement signed by Information Minister Kojo Ponkruma on Monday, November 19, said government, upon a careful study of the report, has decided that the 21 police personnel involved in the incident should be interdicted by the police administration and subjected to formal police criminal investigations. The statement added that in the interim, government, in consultation with the families and community leaders, will provide support for dependents of the deceased persons. Government is assuring the general public that due process will be followed in the pursuit of justice and calls for continued calm and patience pending a conclusive determination of the matter.
And while expressing satisfaction with the committee's work, relatives want government to implement the recommendations in the report. Here's a report by Ibrahim Abubakar.
Some relatives of the deceased who spoke to TV3 say they are satisfied with the report.
Since the onset of this tragedy, which befall us, we the family have always maintained our standard. Our brothers are innocent and they have never ever involved themselves in the activities that will demean what? Their personality.
And then that report, they say they are going to compensate to the family. So we are waiting for implementation of the report.
We are all happy about the statement that government has come out with. But we are pleading on the government to be able to take the 21 police officers to justice. Maybe they will say that they will take them to justice, but after they brought it into the media, and they will not do anything after that.
Government has assured the public that due process will be followed in the pursuit of justice and calls for patience pending a conclusive determination of the matter.
Our newly elected chairman of the NDC, Samuel Ofusampofo, has downplayed sentiments that the inability of the party to elect a frontline executive from the Volta region will affect the fortunes of the party in the 2020 polls. Some aspirants from the region who lost the election said the move could affect the NDC's fortunes.
Some former executives who just lost at the 9th Delegate Congress of the NDC are fueling sentiment that the inability of a Voltarian to hold a frontline role on the current National Executive Committee of the NDC may affect the party's chances in the region. Fred Agbenyo, Dan Abudapi, Koku Anyidoho, Anita Desoso, among others, are all from the World Bank of the party, but have lost out.
It is not a region you want to take for granted when it comes to the activities of NDC, and that is why some of us would have thought that long before now, some senior and level-headed persons should have engaged people, sit down, do the balancing, do the engagement, shouldn't have allowed people to just go into the race the way we did.
These sentiments were rife at the Congress and transcended discussions among some of the delegates. The deputy youth organizer of the party, the deputy women's commissioner of the party, and other deputies are linked to the Volta region, many say. But the national chairman of the party, Samuel Ofusampofo, is not enthused about the development.
I believe that I'll prove all the critics wrong because I have great friends in the Volta region, and I always feel that the Volta region is my second home. And so with this development, I think I'll be going to the Volta region more than before, and to give them reassurance that they will have a place in the party. And the fact that they don't have the national chairman of the party doesn't mean that they don't matter in the party. We'll consider them on our top priority because of the number of votes that they bring on board anytime that there is an election.
These concerns, which are trickling down the nerve of the party and making waves on media platforms, he reckons can create a perception.
Stay in the camp of the NDC as the national organizer of the party, Joshua Akamba, has put up a spirited assurance to members of the party that his counterpart, Sami Ewuku, is no match for him. In an exclusive interview moments after he was declared as the national organizer, Joshua Akamba said he has a strategy going into 2020 which will secure victory for the NDC.
In what can be described as the most tiresome Congress of Ghana's political history, the 9th Delegate Congress of the NDC ended, but not without controversy. Strange names appearing on the ballot paper for some candidates who had their pictures displayed.
Kojo Edwasari's name was not on the ballot paper. What was there was Justice Yeboah. Meanwhile, the picture is there, and the name attached to it is Justice Yeboah. We campaigned with Kojo Edu Asari, only to come and realize that it's Justice Yeboah that was there. It's not even only on the ballot paper, even the declaration sheet that they've brought.
This is a struggle that has not ended yet.
We would say it's a mistake. Even the declaration form has Justice Yeboah. That means somebody is sabotaging my client. Somebody deliberately did that.
Zoo, party first. Party first. Party first. in what is seen as the most advertised race of all time, the General Secretary position could not slip into the hands of late President Mills's darling boy, Kokuanyidoho. Johnson Asiedu Nketia dealt him a defeat much expected by many who thought Koku's decision to contest him was miscalculated. But what will the future be like for a mosquito-bull relationship?
Kweku is not a bad person. The confidence I had in him when I took him around to be my deputy, I still have that confidence. The fact that he took a decision to contest me is neither here nor there. Indeed, if I am grooming somebody, I should be proud that he had the courage to try and put some of the things I have been teaching him to test.
But the bigger playing field for the NDC now, after it elects a flag bearer, will be how much the party is able to organize for 2020. Joshua Hamidu Wakamba, haven't been around for a while, holding the position then as the national organizer, now has the ultimate responsibility to revamp the organizational structure of the party. But is the MPP's national organizer, Sami Ewuku, a threat to Joshua Akamba?
I'll show Sami Ewuku. You remember as like father, like son. He's my son. I'll treat him like a son. And I'll bring back experience for him to understand the game. And I'm sure if you ask him and he's so honest about it, he will tell you that his MPP really see me as one of the great threats.
As the executives are set to zoom into action, it is clear 2020 will be a tough one. Komla Kluche, TV3 News, Accra.
Now let's move away from the NDC and talk about the World Toilet Day. A 58-year-old farmer, Pa Grant Arthur, has appealed to Ghanaians to make use of fecal we generate, as that could be turned into fertilizer for farming. Pa Grant Arthur's call comes as Ghana joined the international community to mark World Toilet Day. Solomon Mensah has the rest of the story.
It is 7 a.m. Friday, and already 58-year-old farmer Pa Grant Arthur is busily working on his farm at Tuba, a suburb of Kasoa in the central region. Pa Grant Arthur says he started farming at the age of 14, spurring him on to study agriculture at the tertiary level. He tells the news team he now doubles as an agric extension officer under the Wager irrigation scheme. Having been into farming for about 44 years, Pa Grant Arthur has come to accept using organic fertilizer as the surest way to grow crops.
We had a demonstration on the Wager irrigation scheme on an area of about 0.5 of an acre, where we cultivated tomatoes. And for the farmers to be more convinced about their product, we used inorganic fertilizers in combination with the fortifier products. At the end of the phase of the demonstration, the farmers were convinced that the products coming out, that is the tomatoes coming out of the fortifier organic product, was superb.
He told the news team planting with organic fertilizers gives farm produce a longer lifespan.
We realized that there was a lot of spoilage, that is the fruits were spoiled more on the inorganic products applied than we compared it with the fortifier.
Martha Joanan is the innovations manager at Jacora Ventures Limited, a Ghanaian-owned company that converts fecal matter into fertilizer.
Toilet contains a lot of nutrients. It has high levels of nitrogen and phosphorus, but it also has pathogens and then organic matter. So the nutrient content in it is good to be used as a fertilizer as well as organic matter.
She explains why fecal matter is conducive as fertilizer. On the occasion of World Toilet Day, Martha Joa Annan called on government to adopt the fortifier model into its One District, One Factory initiative.
The government can do a lot, especially with the 1D, 1F, One District, One Factory This is a very simple technology that can be adopted in every district, and it's going to address the sanitation conditions.
For Power Grant Arthur, government must earmark a site for converting fecal matter into fertilizer.
As we're celebrating the World Toilet Day and other things, and we've realized that the product Fortify is made out of the garbage and the feces that we litter about, it will be better that the product of such nature or a big area is designed for collection of all these products, and at the end of the day it will be beneficial to agriculture.
Let's turn away from sanitation-related issues, as over 1,900 lives have been lost in road crashes from January to October 30 this year. The staggering figures have caused stakeholders in the sector to call for an innovative approach to road safety management in the country.
Road carnage has been a source of worry due to the human cost involved. Statistics available to the Ministry of Transport indicates that from January to October this year, a total of 11,159 crashes have been recorded, involving 18,063 vehicles and 3,156 motorcycles. These crashes resulted in the death of 1,921 persons, with 11,130 sustaining varied degrees of injuries. The Accra Metropolitan Assembly's Road Safety Report shows that 13,059 road crashes occurred in the metropolis between 2011 and 2015. The findings further indicate 2015 recorded the highest number of road crashes, with 2,979 representing 40.6% increase from the number recorded in 2014. 2,934 persons were seriously injured, while 909 persons died from road crashes in the Accra metropolis from 2011 to 2015. The emergency center of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital alone between February and September this year received 3,000 emergencies, of which 842 have been recorded as casualties of road traffic accidents. Commemorating Road Traffic Victims Remembrance Day, Executive Director of the National Road Safety Commission, May Obriyabwa, called for intensification of efforts to reduce the menace.
Why do we even allow it to happen? So that we disturb the medical officers with road traffic crash victims, bringing them here to take up the beds.
NEWS360 and on MTN Video Report, Zakaria Muhammad Awar reports on abandoned market stalls turned into a place of convenience at Sanargu in the northern region.
This structure was built around 2012, and then it's supposed to be a market center or a market for Sanargu Municipal Assembly. However, since the 2012, we have not heard of anything concerning the market, and for that matter, this place is being used or has been used as a place of convenience. Your citizen journalist, Zakaria Muhammad Awa, Sanargu Municipality.
Right, you can also send your video report via WhatsApp 055-143304. We're live on TV3 and of course live on channel 279 on DSTV as well. We'll return shortly with the latest business reports.
Welcome back to News 360. Let's get on to the business news this evening. Starting off with President of the Bankers Association of Ghana, Hassan Andani, who has expressed disappointment in government's decision to settle customers of Diamond Microfinance (DKM). He said the decision, which was announced at the 2019 budget reading, was unfair to the taxpayer. Hassan Andani was speaking in response to questions at the Price Waterhouse Post-Budget Forum in Accra.
Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta revealed during 2019 budget reading that government has settled 80% customer claims of the defunct microfinance company DKM. Ken Ofori-Atta also disclosed that government has set aside funds at the Bank of Ghana to pay the remaining 20% of depositors upon validation. The operating license of DKM was suspended by the Bank of Ghana in 2015 for flouting the rules governing microfinance operations in Ghana. DKM was alleged to have invested about 77 million Ghana cedis of its customers' deposits in its subsidiary companies. Speaking in response to questions at the PwC Budget Forum, President of the Ghana Bankers Association and Managing Director of Stanbic Bank, Al-Hassan Andani, said it was wrong to use the taxpayers' money for that purpose.
We have to start a very tough conversation around expectations. We should learn lessons, and these kind of depositors, at the risk of being jostled on my way home, should not receive taxpayers' purse. It's not right.
He entreated Ghanaians to build knowledge and take responsibility for their financial decisions.
A tax partner at PricewaterhouseCoopers, Abeku Jan Kwanzaa, has urged government to extend the tax net to capture persons recruited under the Nation Builders Corps (NABCO). He explained that taxing NABCO beneficiaries will contribute to revenue mobilization drive of the country.
Nation Builders Corps (NABCO) program is a government initiative to address graduate unemployment. Under the initiative, 100,000 recruits will be engaged under health, education, agriculture, technology, governance and revenue mobilization and collection. Tax expert Abeku Jan Kwanzaa advised, beyond the exemption of minimum pay, government ought to extend the tax band to include NABCO beneficiaries. Abeku Jan Kwanzaa noted the fulfillment of the 2019 budget tax measures will depend on a timely, full and commercially minded drive from government.
And that's how we wrap up the business segment here on News 360. Visit our website, 3news.com, for some more business news. Over to you, Isa.
Thank you, Nat. Let's do some more stories on News 360. The global leader in payment, Visa, has signed a 4-year deal with the Confederation of African Football to sponsor Africa's Showcase event in 2019 and 2021. The financial inclusion sponsorship is to help small businesses to connect to the network for further economic growth in Africa.
The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has signed a 4-year partnership with the world's leader in digital payments, Visa Incorporated, as a sponsor of the Total Africa Cup of Nations AFCON tournament in 2019 and 2021. The sponsorship deal will make the payments giant the exclusive payment services provider at all venues during the Total AFCON tournaments and will be the preferred payment option for tickets bought both in person and online. Regional President Andrew Torre said they are willing to connect football's most passionate and engaged audiences through a powerful, reliable and secured payment network.
Our participation will enable us to support inbound tourism, making it easier and safer for travelers to pay digitally rather than in cash. Our participation enables us to connect more businesses and small merchants and traders in host cities to our global commerce network, helping them accept electronic payments and provide more convenient solutions for their customers. So in order for us to be successful, we need to understand our consumers and merchants in these markets, and football gives us a phenomenal platform to connect with consumers, to create a deeper understanding of consumers and merchants. So it's just a logical extension of the things we do. It also really ties well with our brand and our brand values around universal acceptance and inclusion.
The president of the Confederation of African Football, Ahmad Ahmad, also noted football is the #1 passion of consumers across the continent and was delighted to welcome Visa as a sponsor of the Total AFCON tournament.
One Visa card in your left, you give to one young boy in Africa. He can't do the choice. He wants to keep the ball and he wants to keep the Visa card. But to be together today, that's the best way for the young people in Africa. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for Visa and thank you for Lagardère to can build this cooperation.
CAF AFCON competitions can be activated by Visa's financial institution clients and merchant partners, creating a powerful opportunity for the sponsorship to drive business, achieve maximum exposure, and improve brand lift, global reach, and local relevance.
You're watching News 360. We've got all the news from the world of sports coming up with Thierry Nan shortly. Stay with us.
Hello, good evening, and it's time for me to bring you all the latest from the world of sports right here on News 360. Now, we are starting off with some women's football. After the weekend that we had after the 2018 ALCON tournament began at Accra Sports Stadium between Ghana and Algeria, we have taken to the streets to seek the views of the fans and exactly what the frenzy is all about.
The tournament fever is gradually reaching a crescendo as the biggest sporting event in women's football in Africa enters day 3. On the streets of Accra, the sale of souvenirs have increased. On Saturday, the Ghanaian fans were lively and loud. Speaking to TV3 Sports, some supporters said the love for the beautiful game brought them to the stadium.
My love for sports, and then moreover, they have women, and then they serve as a source of motivation for other sports girls. So we are here to watch them and then get more encouragement from what they are doing.
Since I'm a Ghanaian and the Black Queens are playing football, I don't need to sit there, but I need to come here and support them so that Ghana will move high.
I believe that with women we can do better. And I've also been supporting the Black Queens for a very long time. I believe we can go far.
The central region was no different. The Cape Coast Sports Stadium had Nigerian fans everywhere, banging drums and screaming in a bid to cheer the Super Falcons on. Ace Majija was not lost for words. Dressed in his Bayana colors and agreeing to an endless stream of selfies, he smiled at the atmosphere that met him at the Cape Coast Stadium.
We've got to support our own, so we might be away from home, but then today we're all South Africans. And I'm happy that we're all here in our numbers. And we can only win. We've come in our numbers, look at our flag. So we'll be very embarrassed if we lose.
Fans were excited after watching host nation Ghana announce their presence with a slim win over Algeria. Fans of Nigeria, albeit the loss, were happy, and the Bayana of South Africa surprisingly won everyone's hearts with their performance. Equatorial Guinea, after a dull performance, can only hope, while visitors look forward to the next 2 weeks with excitement.
All right, so that's exactly what happened, and there could be more tomorrow when Ghana take on Mali. But Bashir Hayford is promising supporters, especially those who were at Accra Sports Stadium on Saturday, complaining about the profligacy of the women. He's saying it could get better.
Morals very high. They have all realized their minor mistakes that they committed. They were there when the second match was played, and they've watched the two opponents. We are taking them one after the other. After tomorrow, then we'll think about the Friday's match. Well, we watched the match, and I think it is not beyond my girls, and they are prepared to battle it out. So there's no problem at all. I don't fear any club. I don't fear any nation. I don't fear any national team. Football without fans is no football. That is why our Dome 11 cannot play my 11-11, because that is symmetry. We want people to come and cheer their team up because we are living. And so the cheering and then the booing will motivate them very well so that they can play.
Yeah, they are a very difficult side for me because if you look at football right now, every country, every team is developing. And in women's football, so many teams have developed, and looking at the way they played against Cameroon, they have developed a lot, because we saw them in Cameroon and we saw them in Ivory Coast. They were not like this. They played a good game against Cameroon. So for me, they are a very tough side, but for Ghana, it's not a threat because we have a good team and we have a good players, and I think that, as our coach said, he believes in us, and when we're on the field, we know what we're up to. Looking at the first game, Ghanaians were expecting a lot from us, the supporters that we had. We were so much impressed, and we wanted to do something. Tomorrow, we are going to play to the Ghana tune, to the supporters, and also to everybody out there.
All right, now the Vice President of the Ghana Football Association's Normalization Committee, Lucy Quest, has urged the female national women's football team, that's the Black Queens, to win their game against Mali. She said the Black Queens had the full support of the nation and must therefore feel inspired and motivated to conquer Africa on home soil.
They've demonstrated a lot of skill. They took repeated opportunities, and the thing is, as you keep taking opportunities, your probability of actually scoring a goal increases. So they did a great job. The number of times they actually attempted to score a goal far outnumbered the number of times their opponents tried, which means that they were focused on the ultimate objective of the game, score the goal. Black Queens, we are so proud of you. Ayiko Mwaya, dear. You set us off well, you made us proud. Keep shining. I told you, you're the light of Ghana. You're shining for us in this tournament. Keep shining, keep doing us proud, and the sky is your limit.
All right, so we move away from the senior national women's team. That's the Black Queens who go straight to the Black Maidens. Well, they conquered South America when they beat Uruguay, and then they conquered Europe, you would have it, when they beat Finland. But of course, now they go straight to the Australians. New Zealand is in the pipeline. That game is later tomorrow. And their head coach, Evans Adote, is promising more fireworks.
Ghana is already through to the next round of the tournament. That is the knockout stage. I'm happy for myself, I'm happy for Ghana, I'm happy for my ladies as well. All said and done, we have a game at hand on Tuesday. So we are focusing on ensuring that Ghana plays first on the league standings. We are aiming at something. We want to get into the finals, we want to play in the finals.
Our match against New Zealand, I have to top up the goals so that I can stay free and say that maybe I'm top now, because 4 goals any other player can catch up with me now. So I think me not utilizing maybe the last match chances has made me be in pressure now, because I have to top up the goals.
All right, so that's exactly how we're bringing an end to the Sports Bulletin right here on NEWS360. My name is Thierry Nyan. I'll be bringing you some more sports action. That is a sports station later at 9 p.m. Don't go anywhere.
All right, so it's now time for some entertainment and lifestyle news with me, Nana Kwedrado. Starting off with GMB, the road came to an end for GMB's Greater Accra representative now, as she was evicted after week 9 show dubbed Talent Night. Now, the poised queens took turns to display their talents and same time convey messages on topics including sanitation and teenage pregnancy.
It's been 9 solid weeks of educating and entertaining Ghanaians on our cultural identity, among others on Ghana's Most Beautiful. The 9th week saw the queens display their versatility in acting, singing and dancing.
If you really want to dance, with sexy fans,
the journey has been interesting, but with just 3 weeks away for a new queen to be crowned, some contestants have been seen packing out of the competition. Touching on sanitation, using spoken word and wonderful artistic stage performance, Na entreated all and sundry to help keep the capital city clean.
I need your individual help, please. Please stop the indiscriminate disposal and refuse and objectification.
However, that could not guarantee her a place in the next stage of the show, as she did not annex their expected public votes. She hinted her eviction from the show is not the end of the road for her. Na says she is still set to embark on her project.
I think I've done my best so far. I want to use this opportunity to tell the Ghana base that when their people come in for competition, they should try and vote for them, because their performance might be so good, but the vote might not be coming. Also undertake my project.
She wished the remaining contestants well.
I wish them all the very best, especially Abena. Since I am gone now, I want to tell her to do her very best and bring the crown.
Displaying her vocal ability, Abena, the Eastern Regional representative, took to stage to educate the audience on teenage pregnancy. The versatile contestant won the heart of the judges as she was adjudged star performer.
Congratulations to you, Abena.
Congratulations.
Wekia also won the most entertaining for the night.
All right, so we say congratulations to Now, so far, that's not the end of the road for you. Now, moving on to the next story. Reigning RTP TV morning show host of the year, my brother Johnny Hughes, has bagged another award. The affable host was over the weekend named a Change Ambassador at the 2018 Ghana Student Awards for his passion in promoting education.
Johnny Hughes was recognized for his significant contribution to educational development. The feat comes on the back of his relentless effort at empowering and inspiring hope through his posts and presentations.
I was out there and doing my work, and somebody just calls me and says, you've just been mentioned for an award. Are you here? I said, no, I'm not there. I'm at the ABC's Congress. I said, well, what award is that? And he says, well, you've been named as a Change Ambassador.
In the space of 5 months, the versatile presenter has bagged enviable awards.
This year was the morning show host of the year at RTP, and then the Ghana Entertainment Awards USA also gave me the TV Personality of the Year, and then this particular one.
The Change Ambassador is confident the award will spur him on to do more.
For the entire student populace in Ghana to come together to say, look, you deserve this honor. I think it's great, and it will push me on. As I've always said, it will let me do better than I've done in the past.
All right, so congratulations to Johnny Breastford Hughes, but I'm saying our sympathies and condolences going out to the family of the late Demana Hafiz Abdallah. May also rest in perfect peace. And that's how we wrap up tonight's edition of Entertainment News. Back to Natalie and Issa.
Thanks so much, Nana Ado.
Thank you, Kojo. We're grateful. Yes. And that's it for this edition of News 360. We thank you for watching. I am Issa Moni.
And I'm Natalie Fort. There's more news on our website. It's 3news.com. Have a lovely evening.